I want to make a real quick video. Shabbat Shalom. Let's start there. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. So my truck is an absolute mess today. I'm not going to record. I'm recording with two different phones. So. Why do you have so many trucks? When cops pull me over, which as a truck driver and as a black truck driver, no matter who you are, no matter where you're from, if you're one of these multiple state truck drivers, and this ain't just for black truckers, this is for white truckers. I remember I went to a company orientation a couple years ago. This was probably quite a few years ago. This was probably like 4 or 5 years ago. I went to this orientation and there was this white trucker. He was kind of like a big old hillbilly trucker. And our orientation was in Tennessee, in the hood. They love saying that. And when people say in the hood, they mean a neighborhood with a lot of black people walking around and all this other type of stuff. Now, originally I'm from Chicago, born and raised in Chicago, but then I moved to Texas, San Antonio, while I was still a teenager. And I moved to San Antonio the year that San Antonio is Just Like Compton by DJ Quick. It was like a big hit for him. Rap wasn't very popular in 93, especially gangster rap. Ooh, I just noticed them dumpers. Perfect place to clean out my trucks. But anyway, things you need as a truck driver. That's what this video is supposed to be about. But anyway, back to this white trucker that like drew to me. And I'm a little skinny dude. Well, I'm not little, like I'm not short. Well, it depends on who you are. I'm about 6 foot tall. But anyway, this big old hillbilly truck driver, and I guess because, neither one of us was from Tennessee. We both from the South. Like I said, I'm born and raised in Chicago. I moved to San Antonio when I was still a teenager. And I'm black, but I am mixed with a lot of other stuff. And even growing up on the south side of Chicago, the part of Chicago I'm from is black. Like, you ain't gonna see no white people around there to this day. More and more Mexicans are moving to that part of the south side of Chicago. But I was a Mexican to them growing up. Like, we ain't got no Mexicans on the south side. You the Mexican, Diego, and you the Jew. You the closest thing we got to a Jew, and you the closest thing we got to a Mexican. So all our little Mexican and Jew jokes, you get them, buddy. And that's real talk. They teased me for being Mexican when I was little on the south side of Chicago. They teased me for being Jewish, and I got Jewish heritage and I got Mexican heritage. So not a lot, like 3%. Well, it's very complicated. And even Ancestry confused. I've done the Ancestry.com and I've done MyHeritage.com. I want to do more of them. Man, I got sidetracked, but that's what I do. I be rambling, man. I know. I'm like our president, our president-elect, Donald Trump. I be doing the weave, man. What's gonna happen in the next 4 years, man? Stay prayed up. So recommendation number 1, something that every trucker needs to keep in their truck: a Bible. I got a lot of Bibles. And like I said, I'm going to clean and organize my truck today. I'm going to clean. Hopefully, either way it go, I'm going to clean. I'm in a place where I feel pretty comfortable. I'm in the South. I'm in Mississippi. But Mississippi, being from Chicago, and this is something, too, we talk about the Javion McGee thing, the trucker from Chicago who got lynched. Some people say he committed suicide, and then there are people like myself, we think he got lynched. If I wanted, I'm from Chicago. If I wanted to kill myself, why the fuck would I do it why would I hang myself? Why would I insult my ancestors, our heritage of slavery? And being from Chicago, like born and raised, we go to Chicago schools. So Chicago is in Illinois, the land of Lincoln. That's literally the motto of Illinois, which means it's the motto of Chicago, the land of Lincoln, as in Abraham Lincoln. We learn about Abraham Lincoln. We learn about the South. And unlike the South, our textbooks are always going to be Yankee friendly. We ain't down with the Confederates. We're not down with the Confederate sympathizers. We're not down with the Confederate flag. And being from Chicago, you be in the South and you see all these Confederate flags, it just makes your skin crawl, or maybe it makes your blood boil. But we are the land of Lincoln. And also, growing up in Chicago, I don't encourage interracial dating, but growing up in Chicago, it's not weird to us. Like I said, I don't encourage it, but I ain't got a problem with it. I ain't got a problem with it at all. I don't even denounce it or say I wouldn't do it, but you got to do it smart. Shouldn't be on the dating apps hooking up with random strangers. You know, and dating apps are for entertainment purposes only. What you see on there is not real. And you got to keep that in mind. Don't be doing the hookup culture. Brothers from Chicago, from New York, from Philadelphia, especially like inner city, you're from there. Don't get complacent. Don't get too comfortable. Don't drop your guard. Don't be hooking up with people and going to strangers' houses. If you have a drug or alcohol problem, don't do it illicitly. Don't drink at bars. I really recommend, like I say, New Year's Eve is coming up soon. Always be careful. Like right now, a car just drove by me slowly. Who knows what he's on? Black dude in a car. That can make you comfortable. Look, we don't know what happened to Javion McGee. I suspect I got all kinds of suspicions. He was a young man. I was a young man with a CDL. I got my CDL through a prison program. George W. Bush, Texas Rehabilitation Commission. TRC was a thing. The current governor of Texas, another reason I want to move the fuck out of Texas, I want to be licensed out of Colorado, and I want to start working my way to Colorado. I don't smoke weed. The company I drive for don't play that shit. And I'm in my 40s, man. I'm middle-aged like a motherfucker, man. I'm beyond the weed stuff. And even in my days, I'm talking to two different cameras if my eye contact is thrown off for some of this, because I'm going to put this on both of my YouTube channels. Get over the weed thing. If you're in a truck driving, get over it. And I know as a young man, I used to think, and I still think, I drive better smoked out. On good, clean sativa weed, I drive better. And it's not just an opinion at this point. I've done it so much over the years, especially when I was like in my 20s. And you got to think about it. When I got my CDL, weed wasn't legal. Yeah, I'm going to clean the shit out this truck today. That's my number one priority. This whole delivery they got me, this one of those deliveries I can knock out in and out, and I can't even pick it up. Well, I might be able to pick it up. Sometimes you can pick this thing up early. Sometimes you can't. But anyway, New Year's is coming up. Get ready to make your New Year's resolution. Trucking is a great job, and it's something to consider in his upcoming days. Trump just won the election, and he said a whole bunch of stupid shit that's going to be crazy. Even Mike, I was about to say Mike Pence, but J.D. Vance, who might be the president. Trump, they keep trying to kill this motherfucker. He's had so many assassination attempts. He's had 2 literal shooters go after him recently. There's this Iranian conspiracy plot to kill him recently. J.D. Vance might be the vice president at any time. We've had, like the CIA, Trump Now you've won. Please stop with the fucking rallies. Please stop with the fucking rallies. Stay safe. Trump needs to stay in a fucking bunker for these next 4 years because nobody voted for J.D. Vance. Even Trump supporters don't love him too much. Vice president is usually unpopular and mocked and teased. We haven't had Kamala Harris is the most beloved vice president we've had in years. Could you imagine any other vice president running? Shout out to Kamala Harris. You did a good job. You didn't win, but could you imagine? Let's go over all the vice presidents in my lifetime. Could you imagine the president step down and then they run and they almost win? Kamala Harris, you got demolished. But let's look at everybody before. First of all, J.D. Vance. Could you imagine him winning an election? Before that, Kamala Harris. But before that, Mike Pence. I like Mike Pence. Mike Pence, one of my favorite politicians. I'm a conservative. I'm a different kind of conservative, even like Republican. I'm not a registered Republican. And if I was a Republican, I would have to be like a Lincoln Republican, Abraham Lincoln. Ulysses S. Grant Republican. Ulysses S. Grant is probably my favorite president, probably my favorite Republican in history. And Ron Paul Republican. So not really a Republican. But I like the Republican Party, big fan of the Republican Party. I'm doing the weave over here. But I will get to the point, things every trucker needs to have in their truck. Toilet paper. Lots and lots of toilet paper. That's one thing that's within reach. I was hoping that I could grab my Bible within reach. There probably is. My truck is such a mess and I got to clean up. Everything in life is a gift and a curse. Everything in life is a gift and a curse. That's my phrase. That's my catchphrase. I got a lot of catchphrases. Some people stole them motherfuckers from me. And some people even trademarked some of my... I've been on the internet since the beginning. But I've never gone viral or been... Well, maybe I'll tell my story one day. But anyway, evolve or dissolve. Another one of my catchphrases. And I'm going to work on that. And I'm going to talk. Trump won. So this is how I'm going to fight. Please like, share, subscribe, join the fight. This year's that Trump is going to be in office, I'm going to talk shit about him. And trucking is the way to go. Get your CDL, young man. Get your CDL, ghetto dudes. Don't let what happened to Javion McGee and all these other guys discourage you. Get your CDL. My brother was working on getting his CDL at the time he died. And if he would have been really focused on that, he'd be alive. And if you take this advice, sobriety and celibacy. It's 2024. This is not the good year to be dating. Women are out of control. Women are out of their mind. I swipe on these dating apps all the time. These women are so undateable. And the dating apps are so ridiculous. The dating app that I be swiping at and looking at is on this one. But the things that women say in their profiles, it's one reason that scamming is so easy. Because you see a pretty picture and you like, oh my goodness, a normal woman. A normal regular woman that looks like a normal regular woman / girl. You really want a girl. You want a girl that looks like a girl. You don't want to date a woman. Some dudes are in different strokes for different folks. Some dudes love tattoos. Never been into it. Not on females. I got tattoos, and that's something too. I've had that conversation over many years. I got my first tattoo, I was in 8th grade, man. But I had a crazy hard life. In and out of prison, in and out of jail, in and out of gangs. Since I was like 8, I was arrested probably. The first time I was arrested, I was probably 8 years old. I was probably 8 years old the first time I was arrested, handcuffed, and put in the back of a cop car and driven away. If my mom was watching this video, she'd be like, when was you ever arrested at 8? I was probably arrested for truancy. Like, that's a funny thing, man. Being a Chicago City kid, I knew how to talk. I knew how to think fast. I knew how to act fast. I knew how to move fast, think fast, act fast. And lots of people covered up for me. Lots of people helped me hide stuff from my mom because my mom was fucking nice and polite and kind to everybody. She didn't give a fuck about kicking my little black ass, you little black ass motherfucker. Gotta fucking have a penis inside my house. Lorena Bobbitt, so damn funny. Ah! You know, I don't got no beef with my mom. I love my mom. I really do love my mom. When I was a baby, boy, was I my mama's boy. That's probably why I love women so hard and fell in love with women so hard. And like me and Tupac, real similar stories. You know, my mom didn't smoke crack. My mom actually became a drug counselor. My mom had an alcohol problem when I was really young. But she became a drug and alcohol counselor, and she gave up drinking. And she has many years of sobriety. Jesus and AA helped my mother turn her life around. People who talk shit about AA, you didn't try. You didn't do what you needed to do for sobriety. AA is great. Just like the Bible's a great book, I read it cover to cover. The Blue Book is a great book. I read it cover to cover. Or the Big Book. The AA got a lot of books, and I read a lot of their books cover to cover. That's what I did in jail. And that's another thing, like boredom. When it comes to dating, I can't stand girls that be like, I'm bored. Bitch, read the Bible. You probably raised Christian. You probably spent enough years in church. Why you ain't read the Bible yet? Read the fucking Bible. Everybody got so much shit to say about God and talk shit about God and talk shit about church. Instead of talking shit about church, read the damn Bible. Once you read the Bible, you'll probably stop talking shit about the church. Probably be a little judgmental. Read the fucking Bible, everybody. Trump is in office. Read the fucking Bible. Even if you don't believe in the Bible, at least read what these people supposedly, allegedly believe. And then the first thing you'll learn when you read the Bible is that people that fucking spend a lot of time in church, they don't fucking respect the Bible. They don't follow the Bible. They don't obey the Bible. Go to church. Church is so awesome after you read the Bible, because then you get to be like Jesus. When he was here's a fun fact about Jesus. Jesus kicked ass, literally. He whipped ass, literally. That's in the Bible. Jesus made a whip, went into church, and he just lost his mind, turned over the tables, and was just, y'all done turned my father's house into a whorehouse, you money-loving whores voting for Trump. That's in the Bible. I'm not bullshitting. In the New Testament at that. Read the Gospels. At least read the Gospels, please. Please read the Gospels. This year, what should you do now that Trump has won? Read the Bible. Trump is selling Bibles. That's one bet I would love to take. Everybody talk about gambling and betting. Who wants to bet that Trump ain't read the Bible? Who want to bet that? Trump loved Jesus and Trump is for Jesus and all these people for Jesus. I'm pro-life and I've always been pro-life. Always. When I first found out what abortion was, I grew up in Chicago, so I grew up fast and I learned a lot of stuff fast. I was exposed to a lot of bullshit at a very young age. When I first found out what abortion was, I was probably like 5 or 6 years old. And I was like a little toddler, like, women do what? Some women do what? And I was that type of kid. I was very precocious. I learned very fast, man. And I've always read. And I've been reading the Bible since I was given the Bible the day I was born. A Jehovah's Witness, this is what I heard according to my mom. A Jehovah's Witness took liking to me and got attached to me. And I don't know if it's because my mom was so sick and had so many issues when I was born. My parents met in the mental hospital. That's where they started their courtship. So my grandma, I got mental health and mental craziness. No, nothing running my Bible in my family like craziness. Damn, I wish my window was closed. This dude driving by with all this white smoke coming out of all this poison finna get in my truck. And as you can hear, the freaking window's open back there. But I'm going to work out today. And I'm detoxing like a mug. I need to detox. I gave up weed Period. And so that means not only am I going to avoid weed, but I'm going to avoid people that smell weed, smoke weed, all that stuff. Can't date a girl. And I would never. I've dated plenty of girls that smoke weed. And that's the funny thing about dating these days. So many women openly smoke weed. When I started dating, that was unheard of. You smoke weed and you're a girl and you got tattoos? I was born in the 1900s, man. Dating as a middle-aged dude, I've always been kind of a health nut. Like, I was a big fan of Joe Rogan's. Something else I'm giving up in the New Year's. I unsubscribed from Joe Rogan. And I've been following Joe since the beginning, but I'm so pissed off at Joe. His disrespect. Kamala Harris and the administration gave him the opportunity to interview Kamala Harris. But he was like, fuck that. She want to get interviewed by me. I'm Joe Rogan. You got to come here to this fucking studio where we be drinking and smoking and doing everything that disrespects everything that a black woman is about. You got to come to our studio here in Austin. Fuck Austin. And I live in Austin. I've been living in Austin for years. We're living and working in Austin hard. Homeless. Fuck Joe Rogan. He's another rich Californian that done brought his bitch ass to Austin and fucking it up. I had so much love and appreciation for Joe Rogan, especially as an Uber driver. That's what I survived off of, dealing with my homelessness. You know, it's one skill and one thing that they appreciate me for in this country. You could drive. We'll stick you in a truck or a car or something. I've been a transporter. Texas, the state of Texas paid for my CDL along with the Texas Rehabilitation Commission. They paid for my CDL, the parole board, you know. And that one thing too, like when I go to that parole board, are you a trucker? I don't know if you're going to make it or not, but if you do, you better drive a truck. You better haul our shit and drive the shittiest trucks. As a parolee, you know, I paid my dues, man. I was a garbage man for many years. I worked for some of the shittiest local trucking companies out of San Antonio and Austin. And man, I-35 is a nightmare. But I know I-35, boy. I done slept under bridges so many times. Doing Uber. Doing Uber as a homeless person is hard, it's tricky. I'm going to pause this real quick. It is what it is. Another reason tissue's a good idea. Tissues and washcloths. Black seed oil. So many reasons. I don't know if I think I said it, but this is something you should have in your truck. You could live out of this. You could walk out of this. You could bathe out of this if you have to. If you got to go too long without bathing, you can fill this up with water. And I grew up in I grew up in Chicago, but I grew up right there. I've been homeless all my life, pretty much. All my life. As I mentioned, my mom grew up in a foster home, and her foster mother, thank God for her foster mother. Talk about black Republicans, too. Like, I was just destined to be a Republican. But Mama Abby, boy, I hope my sister will watch this. I'm going to send this to y'all. I hope my sister will watch this because I know my sister probably got a lot of Mama Abby's pictures. And we need to tell Mama Abby's story. I got the website. I bought the websites. I would love it if you girls would start there. Y'all been talking about starting a podcast. Start with Mama Abby. Talk about Mama Abby's history because that's not just Mama Abby's history, but that's a large part of Chicago history. And that's a large part of slave history, Southern history, black history. Mama Abby is originally from Alabama. I don't know where she was born and raised, but I'm pretty sure she grew up in Alabama, but she moved to Chicago. And Mama Abby, boy, she was more man than all of us. And that's not a bad thing. They say that in such a disrespectful way, but women had to step up and be men. We talk about how make America great again. Think about 100 years ago. Rosie the Riveter. The men went off to war and the women had to stay here and they had to be truck drivers and welders and do jobs like this. Trucks these days are so comfortable. Go to a trucking museum. Look at what trucks were 100 years ago. I started over 20 years ago. When I started, trucks were not very comfortable. They were comfortable enough, but they would just wear your body out, especially your back. And those bumps in the road, these air ride trucks with all this, like I say, everything is comfortable. These armrests, and you can adjust it up and down. And we could go to gyms now. You know, like right now I'm parked behind the Planet Fitness. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to work out. And one thing I don't like about this, by the way, everybody keep creeping back here. And everybody driving by slow, looking all in my face. Two white boys in a pickup truck. Look like they voted for Trump. It's going to be a lot of tension like that coming up, man. But no, real talk. White pickup, I almost feel like reading their license plate. A blue Chevy pickup. I don't know exactly what model it is, but two white boys driving and drinking beer. Like I say, I'm somewhere in Mississippi. I'm right on the Mississippi. I'm in a place where I could easily jog. Oh, I forgot my company's tablet. So I'm in Natchez, Mississippi. And I'm right on the border of Mississippi, Louisiana. And it's very beautiful around here. I don't recommend keeping guns in trucks. Like I say, I started as a felon. I've been a convicted felon my entire life. Well, my entire adult life. So one thing, I've been arrested a whole bunch of times. But one thing they never found on me was a fucking gun. And so many people recommend you drive with a gun in a truck. First of all, that ain't legal. That's not legal. I don't care what your gun permit is, your gun rights are. It's not legal. You know it's not legal. And almost every trucking company, their policy is no trucks in our guns. No guns in our trucks. One, you never know where they're going to send you. And some places, you can't go on their property with a gun. This gym I'm going in. First of all, I'm in Mississippi. I'm in one of these parts. I'm right on the Mississippi-Louisiana border. Where am I at? Mississippi, Louisiana. I gotta get. So Mississippi, Louisiana, first of all, is just a weird state. The way it's shaped, the boot. So, yeah, I'm over here by the Mississippi River. So the border crosses back and forth many times. But if I wanted to jog, if I wanted to take a 2-mile jog, I could jog back and forth in and out of Mississippi several times. So I'm in Natchez, which is a border town. You got Natchez, and then right on the other side of the Mississippi River is Vidalia or Vidalia. Like I say, I'm South Central Texas. That's where I live these days. And so I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, because it could be French, it could be Spanish, it could be English. You think about our country's history. But anyway, so as a trucker, I mentioned a few things already. The Bible, toilet paper, of course, water. I keep a case of water in my truck. I got a case right there. Keep water. Multiple cell phones. Multiple cell phones. I just bought a phone. One of my phones, my third phone was broken, and I just bought a new phone. Everything in life is a gift and a curse. And I was pretty upset about all the things that was going down. My main phone right here is an iPhone. My other main phone is an Android. And it's good to have the two different softwares and they're both on different phone companies. You got Verizon right here. You got Metro PCS, which is on the T-Mobile network. And I just took this number, and because I brought a phone number to Cricket, I got a great discount on this phone. This is the Motorola Razr. I'm so happy with this phone right here. And always get a case. Get protective cases for your phones. Now, this phone is so fragile and so sensitive, and it's so new. Shopping for cases is hard. I'll probably have to order them online. But, and Trump says he's going to add a 60% tariff on all Chinese goods. So if you want to get these really cheap stuff, I was mad at Temu because they so gimmicky and scammy with their little, here, we're going to give you this free and we're going to give you that free. And then you mess around and you just spending time on the website, sign somebody up, send this request. You're about to miss out on your bonus. We was going to give you all this stuff for free, but and then even when you get the free stuff, it's $44.99. But Trump is going to put a 60% tariff on all Chinese goods. That's a couple months away. Hopefully he can't do it. Because how is that going to affect the economy? Let's do the math. I've done the weave all throughout this. Y'all voted for Trump. Y'all love the weave. So let's weave it back up. Trucking is going to be, get your CDL. Trump says he's going to deport millions of people on day one. 60% tariff on all Chinese goods. Millions of people about to get deported. And they've already been talking about we have a driver shortage for years. And we do. One of my favorite trucking channels, he loves to say that there is no driver shortage. There's a serious driver shortage. And there's so much competition for drivers these days. Between Uber, who promises you more. All driving jobs, what's the benefit of driving? Sucks. Don't come out here thinking that it's going to be easy, it's going to be cushy. And, you're just going to be cruising, listening to your jams. Which it is a lot of that. And most of your time is going to be driving. You work long days and long hours. And most of those hours, you're going to be sitting in the seat, steering that wheel. But there's so much more to it. And then there's things you didn't think about. And then bad weather. And when the weather's bad is when people want to drive the least. It's dangerous. It's scary. I don't care how brave you are. And I don't care what you experienced. Driving through crazy weather. When that weather is, when God is guiding. Mountains and traffic jams, and no matter what part of the country, they got some weather for your ass. I decided to be a Southwest regional driver. That's the main reason I'm with the company I'm with. I searched for all kind of companies, and very few companies offer that Southwest regional job. But that's my part of the country. And like I say, ultimately I want to move to Colorado. I've been a Texas licensed driver all these years. I want to switch over to Colorado. And even more so now. Every other state that I'm associated with, except for shout out to my hometown, Chicago, voted blue. And that's another reason I want to leave Texas. That's Trump country. And not just Trump, but that type of conservative country. That type of fuck niggas mentality, attitude. Fuck niggas, well fuck you too, Texas. And it is heartbreaking for me. Yeah, I came down to Texas. Yeah, I was a little, we had some rough years there where I was thugging. And it ain't no secret. I run games, so when game run on me, I could peep it. And yeah, I fought the law, and the law won. I fought the law, and the law won. Yeah, all that shit is true. But free Larry Hoover, man. Free Larry Hoover. I got that in the Texas prison. Represent myself, represent everything about me. My black Jewish heritage. Hebrew Israelites, I'm down with them, I'm cool with them. even though I got that Ashkenazi Jew blood, very conflicted. Life is hard and the truth is hard. And blacks and Jews, Ashkenazi Jews, worked a lot together, especially during the civil rights movement. And we got to come together again. I heard that Netanyahu is very happy that Trump won. I heard that Putin is happy. Putin released a statement that he has no plans to congratulate Trump. Of course not. And, man, Trump seems goofy to me. I think Trump is smart enough to not trust Putin. Hopefully Trump is smart enough. That's one big fear a lot of us have. And Kamala even said it during the debates. She said Trump is going to eat Putin alive. I think this might not be good. This ain't been refrigerated, but fuck it. Got a cup of ice here. I got enough time to deal with diarrhea today. Ugh. Cup of yuck. Anything you see me do on video, kids, don't try this at home. But to you truck drivers, again, I mentioned things that you want to have in your truck, things you don't want to have in your truck. 1, guns. It's unnecessary. What you need a gun for? What you need a gun for? What do you need a gun for? Get in this truck. No better weapon in the truck. You can't use your truck as a weapon. You lose your license forever. But if you in that situation where you might have to use a gun, I'm trying my best to survive, get to the truck. With a gun, I went to prison. The reason I went to prison for robbery, an armed robbery. On record, it's robbery by threat. I copped a plea. They was going to drop it from a first-degree charge to a second-degree charge. And yeah, there was a gun involved in my robbery. And I didn't know this before I signed the papers because they was trying to get me to sign for the longest. And I was like, I'm not going to do it. 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 Court-appointed attorney and everything. Man, I really do need to tell my story. Like, share, subscribe. Like I say, give me some subscribers, get me famous, get me out this truck so I can spend more time writing. That's my ultimate goal, is to be a writer in life. Another reason I've always wanted to move to Colorado, those beautiful mountains. What can inspire a person to write more than being out in those, man, they got some beautiful mountains in Colorado. They got beautiful mountains all across the truck. Another reason you might want to drive trucks, see the country, get paid for it. If you from the ghetto and you on your way to prison, get your CDL now before Trump takes the right. Who knows what Trump is going to do? Real talk, real talk, real talk. Who knows what Trump is going to do? Now, just mathematically and common sense tells you, once they send all the foreigners out the country, they're going to have to rely on niggas. And by niggas, I mean the black people that they don't like. Those of us from the city. Think about the Detroit commercial. And Republicans don't like niggas. I love niggas. Like I say, big fan of Tupac. I ain't got time for niggas right now. If you on some nigga shit, if you just want to sit around, smoke weed, drink, and thug out, much love to you. I never not love what I am and who I am and where I'm from. I never not love that. But like another Tupac song, I'm going to be quoting Tupac like quoting Bible scriptures. And he said that. Listen to that Machiavelli album. What's the greatest Tupac album of all time? It's like K-Rino. There's too many. My 2 favorite rappers. 3. I want to give a shout out to 3 rappers that I fucking love. Tupac, K-Rino, and Gifted fucking Hands. Gifted Hands. If you don't know those rappers, check them out. If you don't know those rappers, check them out, man. My 3 favorite rappers. Tupac, K-Rino, Gifted Hands. In that order. None of them really political. They are and they not. I don't know Gifted Hands politics. I need to catch up on his YouTube channel. All of them are inspirational, and all of them help you get through hard times. K-Rino, he's prolific. K-Rino I was watching his live the other day, and somebody asked him how many albums he had, and he didn't even know. They said, somebody in the chat said, somebody did the math, you did over 1,000 features. He was like, man, I don't think I know 1,000 rappers. But he been rapping since the 80s. And still rapping. And still don't get no radio play. So please like, share, subscribe, so I can spend more time doing reactions. I would love to react to K-Rino videos. I would love to react to Gifted Hands videos and Tupac. But I don't really know how to do the reaction channel without getting in trouble and getting flagged for copyright and all this other type of stuff. And I don't really have time to sit and research. Most of my days, I'm not sitting around recording myself on a video. But like I say, circumstances, gift and a curse. I want to be driving. But this particular delivery I got, I'm going to be on lockdown. I'm going to be immobile. I really don't want to leave my truck back here too. This is a little bit too much of the back. And it's a little too hard to get to my truck. But like I say, I'm going to be running around today. And I'm lean and fast. But I've been getting, I like to say I'm getting the gut. But obviously people will laugh at that. You getting the gut? You can't see my six-pack. Oh, man, this is the fattest I looked. For me, this is fat. I can't get a good picture of it right now. But for me, this is fat. I need to tighten up I can't really, the angle and everything. But this right here, oh, especially this midsection. I've probably never been able to do that in my whole life. Do the little mouth thing with my stomach. Oh boy. Yeah, that should inspire me to work out today. Like I say to everybody else, they probably like, you look skinny. Not everybody else. This definitely finna go up in the gym. But I'm in the gym on the border of Louisiana, Mississippi. I live in Austin, and Austin is a very fit city. We got so many damn gyms in Austin, especially like I said, I remember Planet Fitness. Man, we got like 14 Planet Fitnesses. I'm originally from Chicago, and that's such a funny contrast to those cities. There's a lot of people in Chicago. There's a lot of people from Chicago living in Austin too these days. But there's a lot of people, most of Austin is people who are not from Austin. And they say that's new, but it was always like that, man. Austin always been like that. I've been working in Austin for over 30 years. Well, no, not yet. But getting close to 30 years that I've been going to Austin. And back in the day, I'm on probation, start off on probation. And there was temp agencies in San Antonio. Boy, talk about minimum wage. There was like temp agencies just for ex-convicts. And we would get up, and you got to get up to go to those temp agencies. You got to get up early. And like right now, it's November, so it's like harvest season. So it's a lot of work having to do with that. Harvesting, that type of stuff. Oh boy, you motherfuckers voted for Trump. Man, some of you motherfuckers gonna be out there doing that farm work coming up. Oh, man. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Some of you motherfuckers that voted for Trump on this racist shit, some of you motherfuckers gonna be throwing watermelons in the trucks a year from now. And you talk all that red pill alpha shit. Men gotta do men work and women can't. This is true. This is true. We can't have plenty of women do be in them fields working, but them women from other countries that come over here and do that shit. Now some of you motherfucking video game playing alpha male motherfuckers, a year from now, mark my words, once this deportation happen, they gonna send you motherfuckers. And just think about it, just mathematically thinking, I've been driving trucks for over 20 years. Yeah, I'm an ex-convict, but I've been driving trucks for over 20 years, and I've done the hard shit. I was a garbage man for years. I've driven flatbed. I've delivered porta potties. I've driven shit trucks. I've driven all kind of tankers. I've driven every kind of tanker you can imagine except, well, I've driven liquid tankers. But the liquid tankers I've driven, they were even special. Like delivering a tank of refrigerated nitrogen. You know, that type of stuff. But a little one that my boss, I worked for this one company, and my boss was like a genius. Like people say Elon Musk is a genius. No, I worked for a dude that was what people think Elon Musk is. I worked for a dude that really was that. And he had made this refrigerated liquid nitrogen truck. Like he came up with the idea of turning a regular 10-wheel truck into, like they made it themselves. They took a tank, they put it on there, they welded it, and they put all these fins. Like the dude I worked for, he invented some things, man, and he came up with these things. Like in San Antonio, one of the reasons, like in San Antonio, some parts of San Antonio, you see those refrigerated liquid nitrogen trucks on the side, or tanks. They're big, tall tanks. The tanks are about 6 foot tall, and they this wide around, and they have. I used to deliver those, and oh man, the way we was delivering them, some of you motherfuckers about to be doing that shit a year from now. Boy, I've had some crazy trucking jobs. And I can't wait for some of you video game playing alpha male motherfuckers. Y'all gonna be working under dudes like me. And I'm old now too. So I'm damn sure gonna be like, no, I'm not fucking unloading the truck that I just drove here. Fucking no. I'm not unloading the truck. I'm not helping you load. No, motherfucker. I've paid my motherfucking dues in that area. No. I drive the truck. And if my company, I work with this company, they work with me. And I will, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Truckers got to get the job done. We got to do the job. And we can't wait on nobody to come and help. If you going to wait for somebody to rescue you, you going to be waiting, especially when people really need to get, you got to save yourself. Winter's coming, and boy, like, share, subscribe, because I got so many hours of footage, hard drives and cameras, dash cams, webcams. I was the first one. I started a lot of YouTube trends. I just didn't get popular and blow up off on a lot of them things. But I made my YouTube channel, like this phone right here, this YouTube channel, I made this in 2006. 2006. And I ain't even barely got 100 subscribers. And I'm my own subscriber. I'm subscribed on these other devices and stuff. That's the thing about these phones. You got more phones, you got more YouTube channels. Now this phone, I've never uploaded a video with this account that's connected to this phone. YouTube, so distracting. You see the home page, and I want to watch all this. could have swore I made that. Oh. I just bought this phone yesterday, so I gotta get used to the different layout, and it's on a different network. I haven't been with Cricket in years. Let me just go straight to the. Let's just go straight to that YouTube channel. 85 subscribers. Some people have unsubscribed to me. I got 85 subscribers on my original YouTube channel. And nobody watches my videos, man. I do the weave. Why doesn't it work for me like it worked for Trump? But yeah, fuck Donald Trump. I plan on remaking that song. 85 subscribers, man. 85 subscribers. And that's a good picture of me. I was an extra on a TV show called The Leftovers. Man, I've had a crazy life, man. That's another thing. Like, so one of the Trump supporters said that if you're homeless, it's because you're lazy. I'm not even offended. Hearing something like that, I'm not even offended for myself because I'm clearly not lazy. But I'm offended for so many other homeless people who really don't want to be homeless. Me, it's my lifestyle. It's who I am. It's what I am. I ain't tripping on being homeless. And I ain't got no shame on it. You know, as a little boy, I used to fantasize about living like a cowboy, you know, living out of tents, eating food out of a can, bust your knife out. Another thing you need to have in the truck, multiple knives. Not this kind of knife necessarily. This is really more for decoration than anything else. But also fighting. This is kind of like but one knife you need is a trucker knife. The knife that you could bust the windshield out with. Got the little thing right there. Because you never know, especially as winter comes. No matter how good of a driver you are, you could be driving in the windy-ass winter of Wyoming, and a gust of wind could literally just pick you up, put you over there. Tornadoes. If you're driving in Tornado Alley, a tornado could pop up out of nowhere. If you're driving out of hurricane country, hurricanes, you know, you get plenty of warning usually if you pay attention to the weather stations or weather traffic. Or like this truck, almost every time I turn this truck on, it has that Wix channel. You like me, I'm Southwest Regional. And when you think Southwest Regional, even me, I think, oh, driving to all my favorite states. No matter what country, no matter what region of the country you're in, America's so big and diverse. You know, if your trips are over 300-400 miles, you're probably going to end up in a place that you don't like. You don't like driving in the desert, or you do like driving in the desert? Well, the desert has mountains. And the winters in the desert, oh, so hot during the day and so cold during the night. And sandstorms that pop up out of nowhere. Beautiful San Antonio, kind of like monsoon seasons, where the flash flood and the flash rains. San Antonio, it could go from being super beautiful to blinding rain. No matter how much, if you ain't from that part of the world, even if you're from there, you might have not experienced it. Because when it rains, it never rains over the whole entire city. Not since the days of Noah. Rain is so sporadic. So you could be, especially a city like San Antonio, huge. So you could be in one part of San Antonio and it's just, like that was the thing. When I first moved to San Antonio in 93, we had so much flash flood issues. And then like north central San Antonio, it would be so crazy because the rains would be like torrential rainstorms, flooding everywhere. They've gotten a good hold on their canal system and their drainage system, but it still happens. They still got floods. And that was one thing when I was getting in and out of prison, and I'd be struggling, almost starving to death. And then some emergency happened. And when I first got into driving, I couldn't find work. But the floods was messing up so much stuff and making drivers quit. And so then that was my chance. Emergency disaster relief work. And I started doing emergency disaster relief. Started off as like a helper and working at these crazy jobs, and I'm working, started it through a temp agency or something like that. Then they see that I work hard and I got a good work ethic and I got a fast brain. And in emergency situations, I don't, you know what I'm saying, I don't really freak out or panic or nothing like that. I like focus. You know, ADD, everything is a gift and a curse. Autism can be a gift and a curse. All these things, they are horrible, and people that deal with these things and battle with these things, they're hard. And you have a lot of hard days. But some days, those superpowers kick in. And when everybody else is like, that's the good thing about not being normal. When the normal people are freaking out, you like pay attention and you focus. You focus like a hawk. Stand at attention. See, I could be cool, I could be friendly, I can also, yeah, yeah. Motherfuckers watching me, I'm watching you too. And it's funny, you people watching, when you just staring at me, passing through your time, I don't look normal, I don't fit in, interested, curious, staring without saying nothing. Can I stare at you back? So anyway, I recorded this video a long time. Ooh, breakfast. What time is it? Like, share, subscribe. I'm going to be talking about my new Motorola Razr from Cricket. Again, it's a good idea to have multiple phones. And I almost got into a contract with T-Mobile, and that was the one thing that threw me off. They was like, yeah, if you get with us, yeah, we'll give you the phone for free. We'll give you that phone for free. But you got to have a new, like all they things, it just didn't work with what I was trying to do. But the one thing that threw me off the most was a year contract. Huh? So this is prepaid mobile. The bill is going to be $60 a month for at least a few months because I did get the deal. I paid $400 for this phone. And that's a lot. That is a fucking lot. And that's $400 after taxes, activation, the case, and everything. That is a lot. But as I was going around looking for a case yesterday, and I went to a phone repair shop, he was like, that's $1,000 phone. I was like, really? Because I was researching, and as I'm looking, you know, it is very expensive. Buy a Motorola Razr from Motorola. So the first thing you see is $350. That's what I paid. I don't know where that's from. That is not from Motorola. You could get it for free from T-Mobile, like I was talking about. Then it's $41 a month. $41.67 a month for 24 months. Motorola is discounted. Black Friday's coming up too, so there's going to be discounts. And that was something too. The dude was telling me Walmart is going to start selling these for Black Friday. And that's when they'll be able to sell me the case, because that was the thing. The dude at Walmart was like, we got the cases, but we can't sell them yet. And so me and him got to having a conversation, and he was like, yeah, man, probably Black Friday. So but yeah, it's $1,000. Let me click on the shopping tab. I'm trying to see how much you could buy one for if you want to just buy it cash. Cricket Wireless, $249.99. That's the deal I got. Plus, like I say, all the extra for activation and blah, blah, blah. Let me see if I can see it. Just go to Motorola's phone website. No, I'm not accepting cookie usage. And they won't even let me see the site without cookies. Okay, there you go. So yeah, there's $1,000 on the website. There's one for $5.99. They got something called leak sale right now. So the $1,000, I'm pretty sure, is for the not this version. This ain't the super expensive version, of course. And so they got the Motorola Razr Plus 2024. I'm pretty sure that's the one that's $1,000. And I'm so new to this phone, I don't know the difference. I haven't watched enough videos yet. But it looked like this version of this phone is $599.99 on their website. Oh, this is the Motorola website. $590. I got it really. I got to turn up the brightness. Turn down for what? Oh. So $599.99 for this version, and then $999.99 for the other version. And let's go to this gym. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shower. I want to park in the front so bad because I don't like not being able to see my truck. But thankfully, the company I work for, they got all kind of security features and measures. We got all kind of cameras in and around this truck. And this truck is one of those companies that has the internal dash cam, but we keep it covered up, most of us. I almost want to uncover that shit. And I recommend uncovering it. Me, I'm not going to uncover it. But maybe you should uncover it, knowing that they're always watching you. When you're a new driver, take driving seriously. Before you have 100,000 miles under your belt, feel like you're a new driver. Act like you're a new driver. Don't be driving distracted. When I was a trainer with a company called CRST like 10 years ago. And when I was a trainer, I had a lot of crazy rules, which all trainers do have crazy rules. And a lot of times when you were with a company like that, that's back then they were considered a student company. I don't know if they still consider themselves a student company. I know there's been some changes because I got some friends that say they can't get hired by them. And back in the day, CRST was their company. Not only will they hire anybody, but they will send you to school. Now, I know my buddy says they're not sending people to school right now. I don't know how true that is. If you watch this, let me know in the comments. But again, if Trump is going to deport millions of immigrants, even he said he's going to deport some with work visas. Sounded racist. Sounded like he want to focus on them people in Springfield that are eating cats and dogs. That shit is going to be history, man. And they will use that as a narrative. America hates women so much that they wouldn't elect a woman, even though on paper she's perfect, and she destroyed him in the only debate they had. The people in Springfield They're eating the cats. That was his rebuttal to something she said. You say they leave my rallies. They don't leave my rallies. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the pets. He literally said that. They're eating the pets. They're not just eating stray cats and stray dogs. They are stealing people's pets and eating them. It's funny, but it's not funny. It's really sad, man. That type of xenophobia. I'm sick of people using the term homophobia to describe straight dudes who don't want to date trans women. That's ridiculous. If I'm a heterosexual male, me not being sexually attracted, me finding another man's penis repulsive, that's normal common sense, in my opinion. But it's, again, you people on the left, I've been conservative my whole life, so I get to say this type of stuff. And, there is no room for me at the end when it comes to the Republican Party. There's just no room for a place like me. I don't talk that kind of white. I don't sound like Candace Owens. I don't sound like Larry Elder. I don't sound like... I need to check out Armstrong Williams. What is he talking about? Because he was always one of my favorite radio personalities, and he did always seem reasonable. There's so many Republicans that are not going to ever be down with Trump. And Trump disrespected so many Republicans. He disrespected every single Republican president before him. And not only did he disrespect them, but he literally paid to campaign against them. He literally paid for them to lose against Democrats. It's so funny how they use the term rhino, Republican in name only, to talk about people that are against Trump. And Trump was anti-Republican most of his life. He didn't like the Republicans. They were too law and order. And he's such a fucking criminal. And a different kind of criminal than me. Death penalty for criminals like me and the kids. I was a juvenile delinquent. I was a little young black juvenile delinquent growing up in Chicago. I was almost like the Central Park Five, but worse, because I was actually on some criminal shit. For the most part, it's not like people thinking the stereotypes. It's not like I was just always... I did steal, but most people I would not steal from. I did have a lot of like Robin Hood mentality. I would not steal from a poor people. And then like a lot of poor people in the hood, they'd be like, I heard about you. I heard you be stealing. And I look at them like, think I'm going to steal from your broke bitch ass motherfucker? What the fuck you got that I'm going to want to steal, motherfucker? I'm poor, you poor. What the fuck do you think I want to steal from your motherfucking ass? Don't worry, I don't steal from you. I don't steal from black people. And of course, that's a joke. It's kind of a joke, kind of not a joke. But it is. I actually did. I used to have the 10 Commandments of robbery. And one of my commandments was never rob black males. They never have. All of my commandments had that one line, and then they had more of a description like the Bible. So never rob black males. A lot of shit they have is fake. I can't remember the exact byline, but they're full of shit. A lot of shit that they have is fake. The rich ones try to look poor. The poor ones try to look rich. And they'll kill you fighting over the bullshit that they have. I don't know exactly how I wrote it. I wrote it up good. I was a teenager when I wrote that, man. This was before the robbery that I got convicted of. Always use the weather to your advantage. People love comfort. When the weather's bad. I saw another girl who went to prison for burglary. She was a cat burglar. And she was talking about that. How criminals use the weather, bad weather, to their advantage. And that's real talk. Because when it's raining or cold or miserable, people get under their blanket. She was a cat burglar. Well, she called herself a cat burglar, but she wasn't really a cat burglar. She was a junkie burglar, really, to be honest with you. But she robbed rich people. So she kind of was a cat burglar. She was in her own way. But my definition of a cat burglars are people that like breaking into people's house while they're in there. And they like to creep around and like look at them. Like a cat burglar, break into your house, look at you, watch you snoring, and then creep around. And they're often in the room with their victim, and they kind of love it. They kind of get a high off of that. They kind of, person wake up, and they're like, who in here? And then they like creeping around the shadows, hiding under the bed. And when it's bad weather, people like freak out and they get scared and they get stupid. And when you on the cat burglar side of the game, you can always use that to your advantage. I want to talk, man, please like, share, subscribe so I can talk about this shit. In prison, I didn't go to college, I went to prison. When you're the collegiate age, I wasn't in college, I was in prison. I do got prison education, but I got my prison certifications. I got my college certifications in prison. For example, I went to college, my college courses was in HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So I got when it comes to HVAC, I got the highest level of education. Haven't done a lot of the work. I've done the work. I've definitely worked in HVAC. But compared to my other type of working, I don't have a lot of work experience in it. But I've done lots of construction in my, especially in my 20s. Anyway, I've talked way too long. And I'm going to go in this gym. And I'm going to fucking work out today. I still didn't get breakfast, man. I hope I didn't miss breakfast. It's still breakfast time, 10:43. Fuck. I wanted to get some of this good southern breakfast in the southern state that I haven't been in a lot lately. There's something too, as I'm coming through like Mississippi, Louisiana. First of all, I'm in the black women. I'm in the black girls. And boy, you be forgetting, man. You be forgetting. You don't be a place a couple years. And again, Javion McGee, I think that's what happened. Get down here, you see all these beautiful black-ass women, black-ass girls. And being from Chicago, we got lots of black girls, but we ain't got no fucking Southern belles. If you do got a Southern belle, she blend in with the black girls up there. And them Southern belles don't know how to deal with the cold. They be all ashy and shit. Fuck, it's cold. And then we come down here and we be like, fuck, it's hot. Hot and sticky and sweaty, but it's wintertime now. Oh, you fat ass Americans, you fat lazy motherfucker. Again, Trump said the shit. They keep playing that one clip where he's like, you tell his fat ass to get off the couch and go vote for Trump. And I'm so glad. We're going to get in shape, America. We don't know what's coming, but like I say, even... Oh, this stopped recording because the battery died. But even, Mike, what's this new vice president? J.D. Vance? Even J.D. Vance himself said it. America got some hard days ahead. America got some hard days ahead. And this is what happened. You voted for this or you didn't vote for it. Pro-blacks, like you Lord Jamar motherfuckers who was telling people, don't vote for Kamala. They didn't vote for Kamala. Congratulations, Lord Jamar. Congratulations, Umar Johnson. Congratulations, Farrakhan. Congratulations, what's that dude, Tariq Nasheed. Congratulations. One of my favorite rappers, K. Reno. Congratulations, K. Reno. Niggas didn't vote. Trump got 25% of black male votes. That's like twice as many, more than twice as many as most Republican candidates before him. We voted for it. We got to live it. Look, I'm an American, and I really don't like that attitude and mentality, not my president. I will say this. I've been trying to, like I said, I've been a convicted felon most of my life. And I've been trying to join the military since like 1920. I've gone to recruiters' offices. If they would let me sign the papers, but I've done everything I could to join the military since I was about 1920. September 11th happened. I really was trying to sign up. I'm not fighting. I'm not going to fight under Trump. Not going to happen. I'm not. I'm not going to join the military under Trump. I'm not. I'm not at all. At all. At all. You motherfuckers that voted for him, most men in America that voted for Trump. You go fight. That's your commander-in-chief. I ain't going to say not my president, but I will say not my commander-in-chief. Whatever bullshit we get into militarily, that's on y'all. That is on y'all. Me and my brother, rest in peace, Tino, my deceased brother, we're the first generation where, as far as I know, no male joined the military. We come from a long line of military experience. Congratulations, John Singleton. John Singleton and Boys in the Hood. I didn't like Boys in the Hood, really. I was forced to watch Boys in the Hood kind of like as a project. I didn't hate the movie, but I didn't like the movie, and I didn't appreciate the movie. And I didn't appreciate like why they made me watch that movie as a young boy, as a young teenager. I was like in 8th grade, 9th grade. I think I was in 9th grade. But a lot of people that was like, my mom would go to people and men for that man advice, and I'm raising this boy on my own. Don't worry, mama, the streets is raising me good. The police got it. Chicago police got it. You know. You ain't the only one that beat my ass. Every now and then the Chicago police beat my ass. And these niggas, and these Mexicans, and these white boys, I be getting jumped, boy. I like girls a lot. So I might end up in the wrong neighborhood messing with the wrong girl. More of this video advice. Don't be doing that, young man. You get your CDL, you get to driving. That was one thing I was so scared of with Tino, man. And we talked about it a lot. Say, bro, once you get out here, you're going to have to really control your drinking. You're going to have to really, man, I really want you to get your mind ready to abstain from that, bro. To abstain from that. You can't be waking up hungover. You can't take some drugs that's going to have you groggy for days. Like, that's not going to work. You're going to fucking kill us and other people out here, man. Sobriety. And even me, I was telling them, like, bro, to do it together, man, I still smoked weed at the time, but I was like, to do it together, man, I'll give up weed. And we could go through it together. We could both go through everything together. Give up weed, alcohol, and women. You know, but we can't focus on women. We can date. You know, as we traveling coast to coast, we could like holler at girls and all that type of stuff. But drugs, no. Alcohol, no. Gotta be focused. We gotta be focused, bro. At least 5 years to where we just get our shit together. And now we all got 4 years where we get our shit together. They say that Trump can only be in there for 4 years. So not just the Democratic Party, but every party get active. Raise money, make commercials. Try to be honest as possible. In my opinion, that's the way I believe. Honest, educational, let's educate people. Trump, the one group he won with the most was uneducated people. I love the uneducated. And he wants to end the Department of Education. He hasn't explained what that meant. But this is what you voted for. So whatever the fuck it means, you get what you get. You get what you get and don't have a fit. I heard some little church boy say that. I remember when he said, I was like, as a matter of fact, it wasn't even a church boy. I think my youngest son said that to me. And I was like, where the fuck you get that from? I think that was my youngest son that said that. You get what you get and don't have a fit. Get what you get and don't have a fit. I like that. It wasn't my mentality as a kid. And if somebody tried to tell me that when I was a kid, I would have probably roasted the shit out of their ass. Anybody tried to tell me that. It's probably one reason I didn't hear it a lot. Roasted the shit out of you. What you say to me? You get what you get and don't have a fit. Tell me to get what I get and don't have a fit. No, motherfucker. And, I was born in the 70s. A working kid was not unheard of at all. It was encouraged. Get what I get and don't have a fit. You got me fucked up. I'll hustle. I'll work. You hiring kids? I get what I want. Get what I want when I want it. Mike Tyson. Help me quit smoking. And next year's New Year resolution, get serious. Get ready for Trump. Grew up in Chicago. GD. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And we might have to prepare for Larry Hoover to die in prison. But he should be released. I didn't support Trump, but probably 25% of black GDs did. That's more than any before. Well, no, GD's probably always been a little bit more conservative than the general population of black men. The original GD stood for Gangster Disciples. It's pretty religious. Started as a bunch of church boys standing up to the Black Peastone Rangers before my time, We weren't dealing, the part of Chicago I'm from, that neighborhood was run by Mickey Cobras and still is allegedly a Mickey Cobra area. Something I never dealt with, something I never ran into. I've seen them, and I've known them, but I never had no static or beef with the Mickey Cobra. But again, Mom Abby, my mama's foster mother, she didn't play. I remember one time as a little boy, one of my favorite stories. I love Mom Abby. Mom Abby, I love everybody. I love everybody in my life. I love my grandma. I love my great-grandma. I love my mama. I might say some things and be critical, and I might even, like, my mama sometimes think I don't love her. Well, she know I love her, but she don't like the way I love her sometimes. But I love my mama. I love my sister. I love my family. My little dysfunctional, disconnected, latchkey. I am such a loner. I got one sister. That's my half sister. My brother Tino that I talk about, that's my foster brother. That's my first cousin. But we were brothers because of shit that happened in our childhood. But he was my foster brother legally. And we were brothers. We were definitely spiritual brothers, best friends since from the cradle to the grave. But our family didn't want us to be together. You two gonna always get in trouble together. That's right, because we're gonna back each other up no matter what. We ain't got that attitude and mentality with the entire family. That whole right or wrong, left or right. No, you gotta do right. And then everybody else is telling us to do right, but with each other, we could do no wrong. And that's not 100% true. Me and my brother, we fought about stuff, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, like 99.9% of the time, it was a love fest. We get along, we encourage each other, we have fun. The more I became a worker, we just had such different, we were the exact same and exact opposite in so many ways. I was the ant, he was the grasshopper. And I love that story too. And I love ants. As a little boy, I used to love ants. Ants and alley cats. Boy, I need to write that down. I need to write a dissertation about ants and alley cats and how it connects to my childhood. And how it connects to us. Ants and alley cats. They gonna make it. They gonna be all right. They gonna be all right. They gonna evolve no matter what. No matter what happens to this earth, that's gonna be the last life form. And they're going to figure it out. They're going to find a way. Ants and alley cats. Mentioned GD earlier. Our spirit animal is the lion. We are the lions. Same with the Hebrew Israelites. Their spirit animal is the lion. The tribe of Judah. The Lion of Judah. David from the Bible. Moses. Samson. Lions with the lion's manes. And when we grow our dreadlocks, I've had dreadlocks, and when we grow our dreadlocks, it's the closest to a human lion. It looked like those dreadlocks. I remember when I shaved my dreadlocks off and I looked in the mirror. Actually, I got it on video too, man. I shaved my dreadlocks off at a Planet Fitness. And I cried when I looked at myself in the mirror. One reason, I shaved my dreadlocks off because I was just sick of the reaction. And also living in the Austin area. It was one day, 3 gay dudes approached me. And I mean, like, approached me. Like, what's your number and all this type of shit. And one of them actually gave him my number. And this motherfucker was messaging me back and forth for a long time, man. Before I realized, nigga, you gay? Because all of these dudes who approached me and like spoke to me from a distance and from first glance and from stereotypes, you wouldn't assume that they're gay. It's black dudes. That's another thing about it. It was like, Austin ain't that black. And I was working for Uber and everything. And I was doing Uber Eats. And Austin ain't that black. You could go, especially working hard the way I do, you could go days without seeing another black person. Nah, you see them. They all over. But you could go days with just, what's up, hi and bye, that type of stuff. Really you can. I'm a trucker, so you really can go days without seeing another black man. Depending on your route, where you at, what you're doing. It's going to happen a lot. If you become a truck driver, if you're a black man, you become a truck driver, and especially if you do like the coast-to-coast thing, there will be days where you don't see another black man. Unless, when I was trucking, I wrote for CRST, a team company, and I had, most of my partners were black males. Most of my team driving partners were black males and females. My students, mostly females. It's so funny. And I'm an ex-convict too. That's the crazy thing. One of my students, she wasn't really my student, but I consider her like my student because she was an old white woman. She was like 65, 67. Man, I hope you can see this. Shout out to Sharon. Hey, Sharon, you out there? But one of the reasons I kind of refer to her as a student and kind of think of her as a student and kind of treat her like a student is because she was a corrections officer in Oklahoma City for over 30 years. Then she retired. And then the Great Recession happened and the financial thing, the bubble burst, the home bubble burst. And that was when a lot of people, especially senior citizens, were losing their homes, especially if they did like the home equity thing, home equity loans and things like that. A lot of those people lost their homes. And so Sharon, because they were blue collar, she's a corrections officer, deputy sheriff out of Oklahoma City. And you got to think the way jails work. And I spent enough time with her and talking to her, and I spent enough time in jails to know that, and that's one job where seniority really counts. And you get your rank from years, not necessarily being real good at your job, but passing those tests, taking required tests, the paperwork shit, and just being there for year after year after year after year. So she was a high-ranking, I can't remember exactly what rank. I think she was a sergeant or corporal or something like that, but I know she had rank up in there. And so she's in that jail, in that same building, and Oklahoma City's huge, and that jail is big. But she's in this jail, telling niggas what to do all the time. She was that type of, I know her type, I spent so much time locked up. And I picked her on like some racist, sexist shit. I was like, this gotta be a black girl. Because they give you a list of who you want for your partners, the way they did back then. They give you a list and phone numbers. Call these people, see if y'all could team up, see if they want to team up with you or you could team up with them. And anyway, I'm going down this list and I'm like, I don't like that name. You stereotyping, and it's funny, me with a name like Diego Don Juan, I shouldn't be stereotyping, but I'm looking at this list and I'm like, he don't look, I don't like the way that name's, I don't like the picture. And so I had narrowed it down to a bunch of women. And I was looking at the name and I was like, which one of these names look like a black woman name? And which one of it look like the cool type of black chick I'll be down with? And so anyway, I see that name and I call her. And I saw her name, and just going off of her name, I was like, fuck it. This is who I'm going to go for, and this is who I'm going to try. So anyway, I called her, and that's the only person I called on the list. Because she was like, yeah. And I should have, I did. I knew it was going to be problematic from some things she said. She was like, oh, thank God you called. Because they was going to get rid of me if I didn't find a partner soon. And don't nobody want to drive with me. And I told her a few things. I was like, long as you like Tupac, we'll be okay. And she said, Tupac? Who's Tupac? Or what's Tupac? Or something like that. And I was like, that was the last thing on the call. Because it was a very friendly call. She was excited to talk to me. I was excited to talk to her. And when she said, who's Tupac? I was like, that was the last thing we said before we hung up. And I remember I had a partner. And we was cool. We was chilling. We was kicking it, man, coast to coast. And he was my trainer. And I had to get my raise and to move on in the level, I had to find a partner. And I got off the phone with her. And he was like, how'd it go? And I was like, well, we're going to team up, but I'm a little nervous about it. She said this and she said that. And he said, well, what'd she say to that Tupac question? I heard you ask that. I knew you was going to ask that. And I said, she said, who's Tupac? That's the thing that got me nervous. And he started roasting me. He was like making fun of me. He was like, yeah, man, you thought you was going to get your little pretty young black girl? Because me and him was both black. And me and him had and we like girls. We both like girls. We had some adventures together because we like black girls. But he like crack too. I don't fuck with crack. I never fuck with crack. That never even came close to my wheelhouse. I don't like cocaine. It's just not for me. But I don't like I've talked to people and they be like, shit, everybody like cocaine. No. Yeah, I tried it, didn't like it. I don't see how people get addicted to that. I just don't get the shit. Like, what the fuck? Why do I want to be more hyper? Why do I want my heart beating fast? Like, yeah, man, yo. The one thing I liked about it, I'm nearsighted, and the one thing I liked about cocaine is that vision thing. Like, holy shit, what's going on? I could fucking see shit. But everything else that go with cocaine, you're hyper. Look at me, I'm hyper enough. Anyway, who's Tupac? I was like, yeah, man. Because he was asking questions. He was like, is that a black girl? And I was like, I didn't ask her if she was black, but that damn show didn't sound like no black girl. Not only did it not sound like a black girl, but it sounded like definitely not a black girl. If she would have told me that she was a former corrections officer, I might have been like, no, I'll tell you right now, I'm ex-convict. That's probably not a good idea. But again, everything in life is a gift and a curse. And the fact that both of us have spent so much time behind bars, locked up in the same building or the same acreage or whatever for years. You're just locked in this area that's completely controlled, and it's out of your control. Just like with the inmates, it's not in your control. No matter how much you think you control that shit, it's not in your control. It's a symbiotic organism. That's what a prison is. It's a symbiotic organism. Y'all are y'all, we are us. Sometimes we getting along with y'all. Sometimes we beefing with y'all. Sometimes we getting along with each other. Sometimes we beefing with each other. And a lot of times that shit can explode to where it's out of everybody's control. But that's what life is. We're on this prison of Earth. We're on this prison planet. We're on this prison planet. You're stuck on Earth. No matter how much Trump and Elon tell you that we going to Mars, we are not going to Mars. Both of them motherfuckers watch too many movies. Too many sci-fi movies. We got these damn Tesla trucks. These fucking experimental tanks rolling around our fucking country. Because they both love Mad Max. They both love Space Odyssey. They both love Make America Great Again. What does that even look like to them? And what does it look like to somebody like myself? When? I've studied history. I like history. What part of America history was better than now? 2 billionaires. 2 idiot billionaires are billionaires. And they've got to live the lives that their ancestors could only fantasize about. And that their ancestors did fantasize about and handed to both of them. Both of them was given every opportunity they had on a fucking silver platter. Both of them, spoiled little brats. Both of them both of them grew up in places where whites were the the minority, but the powerful minority. Elon Musk and his South African ass, the black kids beat me up. They beat each other up even more, motherfucker. And they didn't get to go to the best hospitals and heal up in a nice cushy bed with their black servant coming to serve them. Probably the same woman that was nursing, the same black woman that was nursing you to health was probably beating the shit out of their own kids. Super patient and kind. My mom's last job before we left Chicago, she was a nanny for a suburban family. A suburban family I got love for, because at one point I was, like I say, homeless most of my childhood. And at one point, I can't remember exactly what happened, but I couldn't live with Mama Abby no more. And I know I got jumped real bad before I left Chicago. And that was something too, like, I can't remember exactly what happened, why I had to go live with the family that my mom was being a nanny for. She was nanny / housekeeper. And this was they would call it upper middle class family. He was making about $250,000 a year. You got to remember, this is like 92, 93. So that was pretty damn good. Living in the deep Chicago suburbs, Deerfield, Illinois. And these were the upper middle class people. And I got to live with them and see them. And not just see them, but see how my mom interacted with them. And be like, damn. My mama had the reputation in the neighborhood. She wasn't a nice chick. She wasn't a friendly girl. She wasn't the motherly and nurturing person. My mom was that type of mom. When she come around, people straighten up. Refer to her as ma'am and all that type of stuff. The most thuggish, ruggish dudes refer to her as ma'am. Pimps that try to holler at her and pull her, try to get her in the stable. When they hollering at her, pimps. Say, bitch, bitch. They trying to holler at my mama. It's always miss, ma'am, miss, let me holler at you real quick, miss. And you don't expect her to be like, hey, oh, that's a nice fur coat. That's a nice car. Now, that shit ain't going to impress my mama. We from there. Know you a pimp, nigga. Get your motherfucking ass away from us. I got stories about that. I do want to tell a story about that. Probably one of the reasons I fucking really hate pimps, man. Pimp will try to go through the boy to fuck over the mom and ultimately fuck over you. Turn you both into their slaves. Cotton candy and video games. On my birthday, motherfucker tried to pull on my mama. And just to make a long story short, I was like, Mama, why are you being so mean to that man? That's just saying that he wants to, you know. My mama stopped and said, that is not a man. That's a pimp. And I was little. And I remember just getting so full of rage and anger. Because he wasn't just hollering at my mama. He was like, hey, little man, you want, hey, little man, I bet you want the newest. And I was like, Mama, why are you being so mean to that man? That is not a man. That's a pimp. And I remember just being so full of rage at the realization, like, you trying to use me as a weapon against my mama, nigga? I was a little boy, too. And I remember just, like, I wanted to stop, and she was already dragging me behind her. But at that moment, and she, like, yanked me, too, because she knew it. She knew that I just was, like, I had a temper. I always had a temper, and my mama knew that my temper was a problem. And that's the thing. I'm super nice, super friendly, super happy. But then it could just be that, enough, nigga. And that was just one of those, just snap. You know, they used to joke about how I could change colors because I'm a red nigga. And like when I get real mad sometimes, I remember somebody made me look in the mirror one time when I felt it coming up. I felt my rage coming up. And nigga was like, look in the mirror, nigga. And I looked at myself and I was fucking redder than I normally am. That was like in jail or prison or something like that. That's when I first realized. Because people told me, like, sometimes my eyes change color, sometimes my skin change color. And, like, if somebody ain't seen me for a long time, they might say something like, damn, you done got black than a motherfucker. And I'll be like, nigga, I'm brown. But then I go back and look at pictures and compare pictures and be like, damn, I'm light in that picture. Or damn, I'm dark in that picture. But yeah, I could just imagine I was a little bitty boy. And like I say, because he stopped in his tracks too, because I looked back at him. And when I made eye contact with him, he had a smile on his face and he was running towards us. And he was dressed real nice. Had on a suit, and this is Chicago. It was on Rush Street. He had on a suit and a nice long jacket over it. And he looked so fancy and everything. And I remember I looked back at him and we made eye contact. And when we made eye contact, he had this smile on his face. And that smile just like melted like, and he just looked like, oh shit, them the wrong motherfuckers. And he was right. Like, you know, my stepfather, my mom was married most of my life. But her and my stepfather was beefing at the time. Beefing. And my stepfather used to tell me stuff when I was little, like 2, 3, 4 years old. If somebody ever say this, tell me, and I'm going to kill that motherfucker. And I had no doubt, nobody had no doubt in their mind. And I remember just thinking like, you know, like I say, at that moment, I just snapped and I did probably want to just attack him. Like I say, my mama yanked me, but I remember just for a long time, I was just thinking, man, I can't wait to see Don. I'm going to tell Don. Don going to kill that motherfucker. And he would have too. If it was allowed, like if my mom would have let me go with him, we probably would have been riding around looking for him. Is that him? Is that him? And I would remember too. I'd be like, that's him right there. Say, man, let me holler at you. Did you really try to get my wife and my stepson? He didn't refer to me as my stepson back then. I thought that was my real father. And we even looked alike a lot. It made so much sense. But anyway, did you try to turn my wife in front of my son, nigga? I could laugh about something like that that's so horrible and horrific. And this is the black community these days. Everybody glorify the pimp, think that shit's so funny and so cute. Laugh. You love complimenting pimps and saying pimp this and pimp that. Well, now we got a real pimp in the White House. A real dude who's been accused of abusing his own wives, and baby mamas have come out and said this man has done some horrendous things. And I got this one philosophy in life. if a woman closest to that man, his wife, his mama, his sister, if they say something bad about the dude, believe it. Live by it, die by it. Because now my mom and my sister, man, they got some crazy impressions and opinions on me. But they would never say that I raped. Well, I can't say never. You know, that was a problem with my mom and my sister my whole life. Them taking somebody else's word over mine. Them taking somebody else's side over mine. You know, they was protective and defensive. But I'm telling you what I'm telling you, but you just don't want to believe me. Fuck it, I'm going to stop trying to convince you. Fuck it. You don't respect everybody else respects my fucking mind. Everybody else talks about how I'm a genius and smart and honest. So many people got that opinion of me. And I'm super honest. Let's ask Diego, see what he say. My mom and my sister, that's the last nigga that you need to listen to. Well, here we are. Trump 2024. But we beyond that. We're beyond Trump 2024 now. Now we're at the point of Trump 2025. I'm going to be all right. I used to have some crazy fantasies as a little boy. My whole life as a little boy, I used to fantasize about being the last man on earth and exploring abandoned town after abandoned town. And I even wrote my first book that I ever wrote. I was in the 5th grade. It was a story about a little boy that runs away and he makes a treehouse. And he lives in that treehouse. And, you know, man, I wish I could find and see that book. I was a little boy, man. And I drew pictures with it. And I wasn't a great drawer. I didn't draw well. So I would love to see like that book and my handwriting and the drawings. I love apocalyptic movies. The Last Man on Earth. I watched the season 1, all of it at a snap. And when I was a little boy, growing up in Chicago, we had 2 types of drills. We didn't have school shooter drills. And we didn't have drills that they had in other places. We didn't have earthquake drills. We didn't have hurricane drills. We had 2 drills. We had, we did have tornado drills. Well, that was the 2. Tornado drills and nuclear bomb drills. So they was always getting us ready and prepared. And people laugh and joke about how stupid they were, but they make sense. Yes, the nuclear bomb is gonna kill you. But get under that desk, and just because of the way things move out, so you'll be covered by your desk that is gonna hit the desk with everything else. But you're gonna be buried right under your desk, and all kind of, if you survive, in a very unlikely event you survive. But if you survive, and after you wake up from unconsciousness, and you gotta dig your way out now, this is what you voted for. And like I say, Putin ain't congratulated Trump because we don't really know with Trump. It's so funny how they were saying that Trump Kamala Harris got to explain more and more and more, but Trump ain't got to explain a lot of stuff. And it's kind of good now that he's president. We don't really know. We don't really know his foreign policy. We don't really know how he's going to react and negotiate and talk to all these. With Kamala, and I was good with it, because Kamala's foreign policy would have been like to trust the generals and let the dignitaries and the experts deal with what, whoever's been dealing, let the embassies deal with those countries. It's almost 200 countries in the world. I ain't in Austin. I ain't been to Austin. I do wonder how my city, my current hometown, I wonder how they reacted and responded to Trump winning. I remember the first time Trump won all those years ago. I was living in Austin. I was working at the busiest Domino's in Texas. And we had protests. We had the pink pussy hat protesters and we had Antifa protesters. And, they was getting arrested in Austin. One of my deliveries, the day after the protest, one of my deliveries was to the county jail. My Domino's, we delivered to the county jail in Austin. And the one downtown. There's 2 different jail facilities in Austin that I know of and that I've been to and that I've delivered. No, I delivered to the one downtown and I delivered to the one off of either South First or South Congress. South Congress. Pretty sure it's South Congress. But I've delivered to both jails. But yeah, I delivered that day after the protest. My delivery was to Antifa. And I can't remember the exact name. It was funny. I got it recorded somewhere. But it's funny. It's like, because I first think the delivery is for a prison guard or jail guard. I believe it's the county jail. But anyway, I'm looking for the guard. I'm asking the guard. And one of the dudes at the desk, that first desk with the glass where you go in and check in with the cops, he was like, have you checked with the protesters out front? And I was like, protesters out front? And he was like, yeah, man, Antifa, they out there protesting. And he like explained it a little bit to me. And so I was like, really? So anyway, I go out there. And like I said, I'm pretty conservative. Not pretty, I'm conservative. So I don't hate Antifa. I don't hate Black Lives Matter. I'm conservative, but I ain't that kind of conservative that's just like, they're the real threat in America. I'm the one that's like, you guys call yourselves protesting? So anyway, I go out there, and it was the funniest shit ever, man. And they like giving little interviews and podcast stuff and all that type of stuff. And like one of the main vocal dudes was a young black man. And, I'm delivering to him, so I'm trying to be respectful, I'm trying to be cool. But I'm also holding back laughing because it was just so ridiculous. And I probably even said a couple things to him like, bro, this is what you gonna protest? This is your big problem? This Antifa, this stuff you talking about with Antifa, man, this is the gang that you clicked up with, homie? And they were funny, man. Some of them was like, they had masks, and this was before the COVID mask and stuff, so they had like all kind of masks. And a lot of this shit was like, these motherfuckers was like nerds, like Trekkies and shit, And like some of them was like, and it was the situation where it was cops and Antifa protesters there. And I'm kind of looking at the cops like, y'all arresting these guys? Like, y'all making room in jail for these guys? These are the guys you worried about. These kids. And they're explaining, why they got arrested and everything. So I'm just like, well, your buddy will be out of jail soon. And good luck or whatever I said to him. I probably did hit him with some, like, black power. When I was a Domino's driver, especially when I was new, those years, when I first moved to Austin, oh, my God. I'm hilarious, man. But I used to love saying that to people. Black power or stay black as I'm walking away. Be all super professional. Here's your order. Get your signature and everything. And then on the way out, black power. Stay black. I said that to so many white people over the years. And I worked in mostly Austin, but I also worked in other cities. I've done it Domino's other cities in Texas and other states. I've done dominoes, and that's kind of like my go-to when I'm with a white person, and it's kind of like I just love that joke. It's funny as hell to me to do that to certain people, and the expression that some people make when you say that to them. Most people are cool, and most people find it funny. And I've had so many white people do it right back. Black power. Yes, absolutely. You say, stay black. And they be like, absolutely. Yeah, right on. Of course. I ain't got no choice but to stay black, homie. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll love you more.